Hello and welcome to another one of Pocket-lint's Xbox One videos. Now, this is the Xbox from the second generation through to the third generation, the Xbox One. So this is the new console, and over here we've got the new Xbox 360. Beneath we've got the reversion Xbox 360 that has its own Kinect controller and a socket specifically for that. It also has HDMI. And below all those, we have the original Xbox 360, and this really is an original. This doesn't have HDMI out. It is only the dedicated Microsoft connection, and you need the component cable in order to get HD out of it, which I use in my system. One thing there has been a lot of, and I personally find it a little bit silly, is discussion about how big and ugly the new one is. Now, I'm not going to argue. It is the biggest of all of these controllers, and it's also the squarest. There is pretty much no non-square angle on it. Now, I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I'm not even that bothered, really. It's going to live in a cupboard, more than likely. And the squareness is kind of cool to me. I quite like square things. Now, of course, style, like anything else, is really subjective. And there are plenty of things that go on in Shoreditch that I would never want to be involved with in terms of fashion. And likewise, I'm sure there are plenty of people who will find this box boring and unsightly, especially compared to the new PlayStation. But, you know, there's not really that much to complain about. It is bigger. I've got a tape measure here, and I can tell you that in terms of width, it's just a hair over 33 centimetres. Here, the original Xbox is just 31. But that's not a massive difference, is it, really, in comparison? Obviously, there's a depth change as well, and it's harder to measure this one because it's a little bit irregular, but this comes in at just a bit under 28, whereas this one's about just a bit over 26. So there is a size difference. This is a bigger console, but then it's doing a lot more. It has HDMI in and out, for example, so Microsoft's very much positioning this as being part of a whole media home entertainment system. There are a couple of things that are inexcusable though. The non-removable hard drive, obviously, even this one, the original Xbox, has a removable hard drive. And if you look, this is something that's very interesting. If you look on the new Xbox here, there is a catch into which you can slide a hard drive. So we ask you, would it be that difficult for Microsoft to have done that with the new console? And we think the answer to that question is no. Also, this box, and we haven't got it because that's the way that Microsoft's chosen to stop us from playing with it, is there's no power supply came with this. And as we understand it, the power supply is going to be an external transformer, very much like all the other Xboxes, and that's really quite annoying. Now, I know why they do it. They do it to save heat and space inside the console. Space, I don't know. This is a pretty big case, so I don't know why they need to save space, but I understand the heat issue, especially with the old red ring problem on the older consoles. But not having a removable hard drive is unforgivable, and the size of the power brick, that is just going to annoy some people. But anyway, I did think it was worth talking about the various generations of Xbox. We don't quite have them all here. The Elite, for example, is not present. But I think this is actually a pretty solid looking device. It's not perhaps as angular and funky as the older Xboxes, and you can see that mirrored in the new Xbox 360 actually. This is a much less interesting shaped device on the front than the others. But you are more than free to tell us in the comments what you think.